First story. Once upon a time, there was a brave knight who lived in a castle far away. The knight, whose name was Sir Lancelot, had served his fair king for many years, and all the inhabitants of the kingdom held him in very high esteem. One night, an unexpected visitor arrived at the castle gate, a beautiful fairy from the storied land of Feyland. She pleaded with Sir Lancelot to accompany her on a mission of great importance, and he quickly agreed. The fairy seemed to hold a secret power over Sir Lancelot, and as they embarked on their quest, he felt himself more and more drawn to her. Soon, it became clear that her mission was to rescue the princess of Feyland from an evil wizard's tower. The journey was long and treacherous. Throughout the journey, Sir Lancelot and the fairy discovered more about each other and themselves as they faced dragons, villains, and impossible odds. Despite all their hardships and setbacks, they eventually reached the wizard's tower. They had made it just in time. The princess was in grave danger and needed to be saved immediately. With strength and courage, Sir Lancelot fought off the wizard's magical beasts and freed the princess from her captor. Their victory had been won. However, this victory came at a cost. It had taken a great toll on Sir Lancelot's strength and courage. He feared that he would die before he could return safely home and have a chance to express his true feelings for the fairy. But luckily for him, the power of love proved stronger than death itself. As soon as their mission was complete, the fairy revealed to him that she too loved him just as deeply. With these words, Sir Lancelot found the strength to return home and live happily ever after with his beloved fairy by his side. Next story. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a young woman named Sophia. She was vibrant and beautiful and had a zest for life that made her stand out from the rest. Sophia worked hard each day in the marketplace, where she sold goods from the different lands nearby. One night, she found a strange old book on one of her journeys and thought nothing of it. Little did she know that this fateful discovery would change her life forever. The next morning, as Sophia opened the strange book, words began to appear on its pages. These words spoke of an ancient ritual which could grant any wish, no matter how grand or small. With nothing to lose and everything to gain, Sophia embarked on a journey to unlock the portal within. For weeks, Sophia explored the distant lands, meeting new people and gathering knowledge about the mysterious ritual that lay ahead of her. Finally, after much hardship, she reached the mountain peak where the portal was said to be located. But before she could enter, she must face a series of challenges designed to test her courage, strength, and wit. After navigating treacherous terrain and besting various tasks, Sophia emerged triumphant. Upon unlocking the portal's entrance, she journeyed inside to find a treasure trove of answers to her questions, including a key to unlock all of life's mysteries. Overcome with joy, Sophia thanked the gods for granting her wish and ventured forth into the unknown. Along the way, she encountered many magical creatures who shared their wisdom with her and helped her grow into the strongest version of herself. Finally, after several months of difficult adventures and steep learning curves, Sophia returned home with newfound knowledge, valuable insight, and cherished memories. From then on, she used these skills in her daily life to better serve her community and help those around her. Each night when Sophia tucked herself into bed, she reminded herself that dreams can become reality if we have the courage to pursue them. And so, until this day, people tell stories of Sophia's magical journey and heroic exploits, a reminder that anything is possible when we believe in ourselves. Next story. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a little girl with a big imagination. She loved to daydream of all sorts of exciting places and people she could meet. One night, as she lay in bed feeling sad because she was too small to journey to these wonders, her dreams took her away. Suddenly, she found herself on the top of a tall mountain overlooking a breathtaking world below. As the sun began to set, she jumped off the cliff and flew across a picturesque landscape of lush forests, high canyons, vast deserts, and sparkling oceans. As she soared through the sky, she spotted a wondrous castle in the distance. It looked like it had been built in ages past by some sort of powerful wizard or king. Overcome with curiosity and excitement, the little girl steered her course towards the castle and landed at its gates. As she stepped inside, she quickly realized there was something unique about this place. It wasn't just any old castle. It was alive with magic. From every corner of the immense castle, strange creatures of all shapes and sizes were scurrying around, some playing music, some flying through the air, even others looking back at her with curious eyes. Realizing that this was no ordinary castle and maybe even inhabited by supernatural beings, she slowly ventured further into its unknown depths. She passed through an enormous hallway filled with giant mirrors that reflected back scenes from many different places. With each step forward, the reflections changed, but it appeared as never-ending. Then, as she wondered if this was a trick or a test of courage, a deep booming voice echoed across the walls. If you wish to continue, you must answer 3 riddles. The girl gasped, but feeling brave and curious, she asked, "What riddles?" The hallways darkened and suddenly 3 mysterious figures appeared before her, an ancient dragon, a fierce centaur warrior, and a wise wizard woman. Each one held a riddle in their hands and began to speak in turn. The first riddle was spoken by the centaur. "A thing without life yet still alive is what I seek. What is it that I speak?" The second riddle came from the dragon, "A creature so unique which all men fear. what walks on two legs without ever walking here? Lastly, the wizard spoke, a knowledge so deep yet hard to express. What is the answer, me ask, I guess. The little girl thought for a moment and then answered confidently, the first answer is wind, the second is death, and the third is a dream. To her surprise, the creatures smiled in unison and said, you are indeed wise beyond your years. You may now enter our realm. And with that, they opened up a door leading to another magical chamber filled with figures of legendary heroes and mythical beasts, all coming to life before her very eyes. Exploring further, she stumbled upon secret passageways that tempted her to explore its corridors further. Eventually, she emerged through an exit on the other side of the castle and found herself standing beneath a star-filled night sky. She looked up at the constellation of Draco and felt empowered by its strength. She understood now why it was called the Dragon Star, for it reminded her to always use wisdom and trust her own intuition. As she walked home feeling elated about her adventure, she knew that it was one for the books, one that would stay with her forever as a fond reminder of how special life can be when you're willing to open your heart to new possibilities. Next story. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there lived a beautiful princess who was beloved by all. But the princess also had a deep, dark secret. She was cursed with a heavy enchantment that prevented her from ever falling asleep. The curse weighed heavily on her life, for it meant that she could not rest or find peace of mind. In an effort to help alleviate her suffering, the king and queen commissioned their most talented scholars to search for a cure for the princess' ailment, but to no avail. One day, a mysterious old man appeared before the court and offered his assistance. This old man, who went by the name of Master Wu, promised to bring the princess sweet slumber if only she agreed to undertake a treacherous journey into the unknown. After much debate and consideration, the court agreed to send the princess off on her mission. Deep in the heart of the forest, hidden inside a secluded temple, lay the source of the princess's curse. For many years, this source had been protected by a powerful binding spell, placed upon it by a forgotten sorcerer. The only way to break the curse was to recover a magical artifact, the Flame of Sleeping Clarity, which was said to be held deep within the temple walls. And so the brave princess embarked on her quest. She ventured through strange lands and ferocious beasts, coming face to face with danger and despair at every turn. Along the way, she met wise sages and helpful creatures, learning valuable lessons about courage and perseverance she would take back with her if successful. Eventually, the princess reached her destination and uncovered the long-forgotten Flame of Sleeping Clarity. Armed with the artifact, the princess returned home accompanied by a host of new allies and friends. Together they joined forces to battle against the darker forces working against them. Finally, after several days of fierce combat, they emerged triumphant and unsealed the ancient temple entrance, allowing access to their final challenge, Queen's Curse. The brave princess confronted the queen in her dark chamber and after a fierce battle managed to break the spell over her. At last, the curse was lifted and our princess was free to rest peacefully at night knowing she had succeeded in her task. The kingdom rejoiced as soon as news of their princess' return reached their ears, for there was now peace and tranquility reigning across the land once more. With her newfound freedom from the curse, our beloved princess was finally able to grant others mercy in the form of well-deserved restful nights. And so concludes our tale of courage and noble duty. May we all be inspired by this valiant story and remember that even in our darkest hours we can always summon strength within us when faced with impossible odds. Next story. Once upon a time, there was a lively kingdom tucked away in the mountains where peace reigned and joy was shared by all who lived there. It wasn't quite like other kingdoms, as it was filled with wild magic, surreal creatures, and hidden secrets that seemed to call out every night. The residents of this kingdom were close-knit, and each had their own unique gifts that they shared with one another without fail. Every evening brought with it a new adventure. Some said it was the stars calling down their stories, while others felt it was the spirit of the land urging them forth on a journey previously unknown. One particular evening, an excited group of adventurers set off on what would be the most wondrous expedition they'd ever taken. With them, they brought a few supplies and a map that was said to lead them to the source of all things magical. As they silently observed the beauty around them and listened carefully to the secrets whispered by the trees, they made their way up the mountain until they eventually arrived at a brilliant structure. To their amazement, it appeared to be a majestic palace atop a tall peak with walls made of crystal and doors carved from pure gold. Surely this was the epicenter of whatever magic resided in these hills. A gentle breeze blew past as if inviting them inside, so naturally, they went in. What lay beyond those golden gates was something none of them could have imagined. Stairways that seemed to float within the air, rooms with walls adorned with precious gems and artifacts, tapestries shimmering with untold stories. It truly looked like a world apart from any normal life. As the adventurers cautiously explored further, they stumbled upon an ancient library that seemed to contain thousands of books of knowledge written in languages unfamiliar but lingeringly beautiful. They began to search through the pages of the text, and before long, discovered something incredible: spells. These powerful spells each held a clue to unlocking their greatest desires, but also a warning that warned of grave consequences. The adventurers stopped to consider their options carefully, knowing full well that wielding such power should not be taken lightly. Ultimately, though, encouraged by their growing curiosity and sense of excitement, they decided to take the risk and try out these spells. Little did they know that once unleashed, these spells would set in motion an unexpected series of events, leading them on a thrilling yet perilous journey deep into the heart of the kingdom's dark secrets. From battling fierce monsters and mysterious forces to unearthing clues about the kingdom's history, our brave explorers soon realized that no danger was too great when it came to unlocking the kingdom's mysteries. However, amidst all this chaos, one thing remained constant: their unwavering bond and friendship. Together, they pushed forward, undeterred by any obstacle, until at last they were able to uncover the truth that lay hidden for centuries until now. As dawn broke across the sky and morning light spilled into the palace courtyard, the adventurers bid goodbye to the grand palace and its magic, but not before taking with them one final treasure: newfound wisdom gained from their extraordinary journey. Each left feeling thankful for their time spent together in a place unlike any other, knowing that the memories created in this timeless oasis would stay with them forever. Next story. Once upon a time, a bedtime story for grown-ups began. In a far-off land, there lived a beautiful princess who wished for a real adventure. She was bored of her sheltered life within the confines of the castle walls and longed to explore the world around her. Every night, she would close her eyes and dream of traveling across the land, searching for new sights and experiences. One day, the princess's wish was granted and she found herself on a grand quest. Setting off with her loyal steed, she galloped across mountains, plains, and valleys, delighted by all the wondrous things she saw along the way. Everywhere she went, people marveled at her courage and daring. Onward and onwards they rode, until one day they eventually reached a mysterious forest that seemed to stretch on forever. It was here the princess realized that she had arrived at the end of her journey. With apprehension in her heart, she rode into the woods determined to face whatever might await her. The further she ventured in, the stranger it became. There were strange sounds echoing from above and creatures lurking in the shadows. Even the trees seemed to move of their own accord, swaying gently in the wind like an audience waiting in hushed anticipation. Suddenly, unexpectedly, Princess stumbled upon a magnificent palace in the center of the forest. Towering higher than anything else around it, the majestic building looked ancient yet oddly inviting. Seductively beckoning her forward, the princess knew that this must be where her mission lay. What secrets did it hold? Cautiously but excitedly, the princess made her way up the winding path leading to the entrance. In awe at her discovery, she marveled at each room as she explored further into the depths of the palace. Everywhere she went held more mysteries, and before long she found herself in a chamber filled with books full of stories. It seemed that this place was not just a palace, but also a library. Fascinated by the prospect of reading such tales, the princess settled down to listen with an eager ear. As she heard each spellbinding tale unfold, it seemed as though these stories were meant entirely for her ears. Could this be fate? With every passing chapter came a new surprise: princesses rising from slavery to greatness, epic battles between good and evil, young maidens overcoming incredible odds to win back their heart's desires, and much, much more. Through these tales, hidden wisdom unfolded before her eyes, wisdom which, if followed, could lead to true happiness. At last, when all was finished, the princess felt enriched in ways she never thought possible. The questions that had started this journey now answered, she smiled in contentment and slowly made her way out of the palace and back towards home. The princess had come on an adventure seeking excitement and knowledge, and she had been fulfilled beyond words. For although she may no longer be on her quest, its lessons would stay with her forever, wherever she may go. Next story. Once upon a time there was a king and queen who lived in a beautiful castle surrounded by lush green gardens. The king and queen loved each other dearly, but oftentimes felt like their kingdom had become stagnant. One night, the stars began to twinkle brightly in the sky. As the king and queen gazed up at the heavenly canvas, they were entranced by a peculiar sight: a shooting star. They watched as the meteor streaked across the night sky until it finally disappeared in the distant horizon. It was then that they made a grand wish, that the cosmic object would bring the life back into their kingdom. Little did they know this wish would soon be granted in an incredible way. For it wasn't much later that a mysterious stranger appeared at their doorstep. He was large and imposing in stature, yet his glowing gaze exuded warmth and kindness. He introduced himself as an interdimensional traveler on an important mission. The stranger went on to explain his mission: to grant 3 extraordinary wishes to deserving people under special circumstances. The king and queen were ecstatic to hear this news and immediately declared their grand wish for life: to return to their kingdom. The stranger smiled and nodded approvingly before granting them the wish. In that moment, their dull kingdom was transformed into a vibrant land booming with activity and new opportunities. Everywhere they looked, people were bustling around, enjoying themselves and discovering new and exciting things. The king and queen knew that their wish had been granted and could not thank the stranger enough for his help. Grateful for all he had done, they decided to invite him to stay at their castle as thanks. To their surprise, the traveler happily accepted and thus began an exciting journey of discovery and adventure through their kingdom. Together, the king and queen and their newfound companion explored every corner of their world, from the deepest caves of their mountain range to the highest towers of their great castle. Along the way, they encountered many fascinating creatures, thrilling sights, and even encountered a few close calls with danger. By the time their travels ended, the kingdom had been changed once more, this time into a thriving hub of culture and learning. People flocked there from all corners of the world to view ancient artifacts, learn forgotten secrets, discuss philosophy, and share tales of their varied journeys. No longer did their kingdom feel stuck in the past. It was now a place made alive by the exploration of its inhabitants and those from faraway lands. The king and queen thanked their traveling friend for transforming their home for the better and, before he returned to his own realm, gifted him with a special set of jewels containing magical properties which could help him on his own journeys throughout the cosmos. The pair continued to live in their beloved kingdom until they had grown old together, but they never forgot their mysterious visitor and what he had done for them. They often told tales of his visit to anyone who came to their court, from little children eager for excitement to old wise men seeking wisdom. To this day, any shooting star that streaks across the night sky still brings hope of new beginnings for those who pause to watch it closely. For such cosmic objects can herald unexpected visitors, and extraordinary wishes being granted if one is lucky enough. Next story. Once upon a time in a distant land, there lived a young man who was full of vigor and adventure. His name was William Wallace, and he had an indomitable spirit. He dreamed of traveling around the world and experiencing all the wonders it had to offer. One day, William decided to set out on his journey. He packed some supplies, said goodbye to his family, and ventured into unknown lands. Everywhere he went, he encountered strange places and creatures. He fought off monsters with his sword, crossed vast deserts on foot, and sailed through treacherous waters on a small boat. In one kingdom, William met a wise old man who told him tales of far-off lands and ancient secrets. The man imparted his knowledge onto William and showed him the way to an enchanted forest that lay between two great peaks. Being the adventurous soul he was, William decided to explore this forest. As soon as William stepped into the woods, he was captivated by its beauty. Enormous trees stretched high above him like majestic towers, their branches offering a canopy of protection against the scorching summer Sunday. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of wildflowers, and birdsong filled the air with melodious chirps. William walked deeper into the forest until he stumbled upon a clearing. There, he saw a beautiful maiden in a white gown sitting beneath an old willow tree. Her long dark hair cascaded down her back like velvet curtains, her eyes glistened like diamonds in the moonlight, and her skin was smooth like porcelain. William's heart beat faster as he approached her. The maiden smiled at William and told him that she was the guardian of this magical place. She also told him that she could grant him any wish he desired, but only if his request was truly sincere. William thought for a moment before speaking. "I wish for nothing more than to travel around the world and experience all its wonders without ever getting lost or running out of money." The maiden smiled again and granted William's wish. She then beckoned him to follow her farther into the forest. With each step forward, William felt a renewed sense of hope and courage. They soon arrived at a small cottage hidden within a thicket of trees. Inside was a treasure chest overflowing with gold coins and jewelry. The maiden explained that this special chest would never run dry no matter how often William visits it for supplies. She also presented him with a magical compass that would light up whenever William was heading in the right direction and help him avoid any danger. William thanked the maiden for her generosity before setting off on his new adventure with his newfound wealth and protection. Over the years, he visited many wondrous places and made many new friends along the way. He even managed to find his way back home in time for his family's celebration when they heard news of his successful venture. The years passed quickly but brought much joy to William's life, thanks to all the wonderful experiences he had gained over his travels. He eventually returned home to share his tales of exotic lands and exciting adventures with everyone who cared to listen, taking them all on a magical journey across the world. Next story. Once upon a time there lived two adults who were utterly in love with one another. Though their lives weren't easy, nor were their struggles, they stuck together and made it through each day as best they could. One sunny afternoon, the couple decided to take a walk. When they reached the park near their home, they spotted a magical meadow full of beautiful white flowers. Entranced, they entered the meadow, feeling as if they had been transported to a fairy tale land. As they wound their way through the meadow, they came across a glowing lake filled with shimmering fish and a cascading waterfall that sparkled like diamonds when the sunlight hit it. The couple watched in wonder as the sun slowly dipped below the horizon, leaving behind shades of golden yellow and orange in its wake. From somewhere nearby, they heard the distant sound of music playing. Following the melody, they discovered a small hut tucked away at the edge of the meadow. Excitedly, they opened the door and stepped inside. What greeted them was a cozy room filled with books and candles, radiating a warm and inviting glow. In the corner of the room sat an old man playing a beautiful harp. His eyes twinkled when he saw the couple standing there, and he set aside his instrument to greet them warmly. The old man explained that he was the guardian of the meadow and had been living there for many years now. He invited them to spend the night in his humble abode, an offer which they readily accepted. The remainder of the night was spent conversing by a crackling fire, taking turns telling stories and swapping legends about how the meadow got to be so magical. As darkness descended, the old man began to sing a sweet lullaby which brought about a sense of peace and comfort within them both. There was something special about this place, something that reminded them of home. The next morning, before leaving, the couple thanked their host and promised to visit again someday soon. With heavy hearts yet lighter spirits, they returned back to their own little world feeling rejuvenated and connected to life in ways that could not have been expressed in words alone.